At the age of 54 and 2 divorces later, let me give you the marriage advice I wish that I had listened to. Love is not enough. Marry for character, not just chemistry. You're not just marrying them, you're marrying their habits, their debt, and their family drama. Marriage will never fix loneliness. The wrong person will make it worse. You can't marry potential. You're not a life coach. You're a spouse. Being alone is way better than wishing you were. The right person will make you feel safe. The wrong one will make you feel small. We'll figure it out is not a financial plan. Some people don't want love. They want control. Learn the difference. You should be excited to marry them, not just relieved that they finally committed. Be prepared to marry the whole family. Period. Hope that helps.
You know what, ladies? Go ahead and get married. Get married, get it out your system. That way you can see what the hype is all about. Like, get it, go ahead, because y'all want it so bad. Y'all are fighting so hard to be domestic servants. Y'all want to be, I don't know what it is you think that marriage is going to provide you outside of the contractual benefits. You ain't going to live as long. You're not going to be as happy. You're not going to be as healthy. But if you want it so bad, do it. Just do it. Then you can stop with the fantasy of it all. Then you can stop wondering what you're missing out on. Then you can stop chasing it and you can realize it's not what it's cracked up to be. Get it out your system. Go ahead, give yourself about 5 years, maybe 7 years max. Feel it, understand, and then be done. Be done. Now there's no more hype about it. Now there's no more curiosity about it. Now you don't have to live your life longing for something. Do it. Get it out your system. I don't want to hear nothing else about it. I don't want to hear no more complaints. Because it's what it is a lot of y'all get married and realize that what people have been telling y'all, and now you stuck. And now you in it. And now you like, dang, I can't even go against the system because this is something that I begged for. This is something that I prayed for. So go ahead, do it. Do it. Do it. Let us know how you like it. Be honest though, because most of y'all are lying. Most of y'all are lying about how you feel about that marriage and that man. But go ahead, get it out your system. Go ahead. Reality is marriage benefits men, but divorce benefits women. Yes, alimony, spousal support, but let's be honest, how many of y'all are actually dealing with men that are affording you this lifestyle already so that when the divorce happens, now he owes you this? Y'all aren't. Y'all aren't. Y'all are begging to be married to some of the worst people. All it is just to validate the decisions you made to have that man's kids or to move that man in and to do certain things for him. So the validation for you is, let me at least get a ring. No, good luck. Good luck.
I'm almost 28 and divorced, and this is what I wish I knew. First of all, I don't think that anyone should be getting married before 27. I don't think that anyone's personalities or identities or frontal lobes are developed until then anyway. So I said what I said. Don't do it. I also don't think that men are psychologically ready for marriage until like their mid-30s, probably well into their 40s if I'm completely honest. So it's just insane to me that anyone would agree to marry a man in their 20s. That's neurotic to me. I've met men in their 20s. I wouldn't do it. I also highly discourage changing your name legally. I changed mine socially, so I went by my husband's last name out in society and on social media and on my LinkedIn and my website and all of that, Christmas cards, but I never actually changed it legally. I fully intended to at the beginning, but just never went through with the paperwork. And then once it came around time for separation and divorce, I was really grateful that I never did that. This is the biggest thing I tell young girls especially, is that there doesn't need to be like this big dramatic reason to leave. And this, I guess, applies to marriages and just regular relationships as well. But like, you don't need that big dramatic reason to leave. If you're unhappy or no longer aligned with the relationship or the person you're in the relationship with, like, just go. Flip the table. Reinventing your entire identity and starting an entirely new life is way easier than staying in a life you hate or are not aligned with for the rest of your life. And lastly, particularly for women, you have to make sure that you're protecting yourself, especially financially. So make sure that you have access to money that is yours and yours alone. Make sure that if you're walking into a situation where you're not working, you have some sort of legal protections for that. If you're giving up your entire career, make sure you're protected. That will look different for everyone, but I know not everyone walks into a marriage thinking of the end, but you should. frankly. Way too many people get married because they're super in love and they want a wedding, and that's frankly not the purpose of marriage. Marriages are business decisions. So, hate to burst your bubble, but you're going to learn one way or another.
Here are 10 things that I've learned about marriage from someone who's been divorced since 2008. Number 1, who he is now is who he's going to be even after you guys get married, and there is a great chance that he's going to become an even worse version of who he is now. There is no magic that happens once you guys leave the ceremony. There is no magic that happens after you leave your honeymoon. You are still very much the same people you were before those events take place. The second thing is, don't believe in the exception to the rule story. I totally understand that you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, or you saw the TikTok or the YouTube video of a woman who accepted something toxic or ignored something that's normally a red flag in a man, and now they've lived happily ever after, and they have 2.5 kids, and they've been married since 1998. It's either one of three things. Either one, they really did turn out fine and everything actually did turn out great. But actually, it's more than likely going to be one of the two other things. The first one being she's lying, and she needs you to believe that she made a good decision because she so desperately needs to believe that she made a good decision because she's realized over the years that she didn't make a good decision. Or 3, it's a situation where they just kind of are existing together. Nobody's going to file for divorce because she's at least happy to be married and he's benefiting from the relationship in some way, so they're just kind of existing together. If you overlook or accept something that is unhealthy or is a red flag, there is a high, very high chance that it will not turn out well for you. If you are blessed with a red flag being handed to you on a silver platter, acknowledge it and run in the other direction. Third thing is, the worst financial decision that a woman can make is to be financially dependent on a man. I get it. There's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. Some of you might have to be because of this crazy economy that we live in. But what I need you to do is, before you get married, get paperwork, get a prenup in place that if the crap hits the fan and things don't work out, he will have to continue to pay the bills for you for X amount of time so that you are not out on the street or scrambling before you go on maternity leave or become a stay-at-home mom. I need you to have money saved up. I also need you to be honest with yourself and know when it is time for you to go back to work. I don't want you scrambling and selling weight loss shakes because you guys have to figure out a way to make ends meet. In a perfect world, we could all stay home with our babies. I feel like it's important to have that bonding time with your child in their formative years, but unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. And when the bills start piling up, your loving, supporting husband who wanted you to be a stay-at-home wife might not be so nice after a while. Sometimes a little bit of power goes to people's heads and he might start acting differently toward you because he feels like since he makes the money, he controls the money. You got to think about what happens if he becomes laid off or something financially catastrophic happens. Let me shake you up a little bit. We do not live in a Disney movie, okay, guys? This is the real world. I need you to put yourself and your children in a situation to where no matter what happens, you are going to be okay. If you don't care about yourself, fine, don't care about yourself. But at least make sure that your kids are going to be okay at all times. Number 4, it's not working on the relationship if you're the only one that's doing the working. You're the only one that's crying, begging, pleading, praying, seeing a therapist, looking up articles, watching TikTok videos, Googling things, having grace, being patient. It's not work if you're the only person that is doing it. It is a one-sided relationship and you are being taken advantage of. Number 5, do not turn your back on your friends. My friends over the years who have had the most happy, healthy relationships are the ones who still made time and hung out and talked to their friends. If you adopt this attitude of I'm married, I can't hang out with single women anymore, or my husband is all I need. Those are the famous last words of a relationship that is doomed to fail. People love to say that we need community as an argument as to why relationships are absolutely necessary, but no, that statement just simply means we need people. You don't need romantic relationships to survive. If you and your husband fall apart, you will need your girls to come and lift you up and support you. There might just be times when you need to bitch and complain about something that might not be that serious, and you need your girls there to talk to, things that they would only be able to relate to. If all you got is your man, what happens if he decides to walk away? What happens if that relationship doesn't work out? What happens if something, God forbid, happens to him? Then what? Number 6, keep taking care of yourself. The number one thing that I hear from women when they email me at the end of their relationship is, I cannot believe I let myself go. I can't believe I stopped taking care of my skin. I can't believe I stopped taking care of my hair. I can't believe I gave up on myself, because we think that once we get a man, that's pretty much it. I've accomplished the goal. If you're only taking care of yourself to get a man, you're taking care of yourself for the wrong reasons, honey. Take care of yourself for you. Take care of yourself to be an example to your children of how confident they should feel and how they should invest in who they are as people. Number 7, you are not a maid, chef, therapist, personal assistant. Be mindful of the things that he says he loves about you. Be mindful of how he treats you in that relationship. If you find out that it's a situation where you're just cooking and cleaning and running his errands for him and getting the gifts for his parents and doing all the things for him, congratulations, honey. He is with you because you are doing things for him, not because you're an amazing person, which you are, but he is fully 100% benefiting from this relationship, and that is why he is with you. I have heard so many women say, well, my boyfriend proposed to me, now I need to learn how to cook. Why? You need to continue being just exactly who you are. Cooking, cleaning, and taking care of a home is not wifely duties. That's shit that adults do. Adults, male, female, they, them, everybody, not just you because you're a woman. Number 9, do not stay for the kids. I remember being a child begging my mom to leave my dad, and we were so much more happy when she finally did. You are not doing your kids any favors by staying in a situation where you are not happy, because newsflash, kids are smart. They can tell when things are not right. They can tell when there's tension. They notice when you guys are avoiding each other. They can hear you guys when you think that they can't, when you guys are arguing. Trust me, your kids want you to be happy more than they want you to simply be married. And if by chance they are upset that the relationship is ending because they want mommy and daddy to stay together, that's fine. That's understandable. But sometimes things don't happen that we want to happen. Things don't always go your way. And if you're not happy, it's okay to walk away from that situation. And you're teaching your kids that, and you're teaching them boundaries, and you're teaching them how they should be treated and how they should act in a relationship if things go bad. Which leads me to the next thing. It is okay to end it, okay? It's okay. Divorce has such a bad stigma around it. Divorce does not mean you failed. You know what failing is? Staying in a relationship that's dead. Staying in a relationship that is causing you trauma and pain. That is failure. But success is making a plan to get out of those situations, leaving those situations, and being able to start over and stand on your own 2 feet if it means you being happy again. Number 10, and the last one, you will inherit whatever their financial status is. If they're broke, you're going to inherit a man that you're going to have to take care of financially, and you're going to inherit all his debts and all the bill collectors calling. If he's well off financially, you will benefit from that. If he's middle class, then you guys will benefit from whatever financial situation he is in, good, okay, bad. You will inherit that situation. It's not going to magically go away. Dual incomes does not necessarily mean more money. Now there's going to be 2 of you using the lights. Now there's going to be 2 of you eating the food. Now there's going to be 2 of you using the car if you only have 1 car. And if you have 2 cars, now there's 2 car notes and 2 insurance payments and 2 cars to put gas in. This is a bonus. Instead of listening to my list and telling me how it's not going to be you because you do this and you do that and you do this and you do that, I need you to actually listen to me and accept the fact that it very well could end up being you. And now I need you to put a plan in place on how you are going to protect yourself, how you are always going to come out okay. There's nothing wrong with falling in love. Marriage, all that stuff can be beautiful with the right person, but I need you to be smart. There's a famous quote that says, "The folly of youth is thinking that what happens to others will never happen to us."
Some dating advice for young women from a 53-year-old woman who's been married and divorced twice and dated a whole range of dudes in between. Okay. You need to get in and meet the mom ASAP. And you cannot go in with the idea that, like, oh my gosh, I hope he likes me well enough to show me to his family. No, this is like, I want to see if I approve of his family, particularly his mother. And what you want to look for is, does his mom like himself? Is she a fulfilled woman, or is she bitter and insecure? And that's because the world always is full of bitter, insecure people who did not venture to live life the way they wanted. That doesn't mean they have to have tons of material or worldly success. It just means that they risked what they wanted to risk, and they learned what they needed to learn. And because they did that, they like and love and respect themselves. And because you're that kind of woman, you're going to project this kind of general worldview and attitude onto the world, when in fact that is a very small minority, and most of the world is insecure and unfulfilled, including the woman who raised the men that you're going to date. When you meet her, you're gonna vibe right away. Is she open and warm? Does she like herself well enough to like you? Because if she doesn't like herself and the life that she's lived, she's not gonna like you. No matter if she can put on a shit-eating grin when she meets you, she's gonna slip. She's gonna show you in some way that you make her feel insecure because you like yourself. You just embody this energy that it's always eluded her. God, it's not even eluded her. She never went after it because she's just the type of person who, and for, some wasted years. Because honestly, your compassion, empathy, nurturing, all that, it's hard to shake. It's hard to put guardrails on that until you've had enough life experience that forces you to, because it is your nature. Do you understand? And you need to love that nature about yourself. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of mistakes to finally understand why that cannot be boundless. Okay, why you need to put some boundaries around that. But one of the ways that you need to learn to put the boundaries around that is to think, I'm interviewing you guys too. I mean, hopefully, this is not, you don't want a lopsided match, okay? But if you are a strong, capable, nurturing, compassionate, all of that kind of person, you are going to be mismatched in energy most of the time. And so you need to know, do these people match my energy? Because you're going to waste a lot of life around people who don't match your energy, can't match your energy, but think that somehow by being around you, they can absorb a little bit of it, but don't want to do anything to be able to generate it themselves. And when you meet this mom, you got to clock whether or not she has the energy within her, the self-love and the self-like and the self-respect to be able to like you and embrace you, so that she can also give your son perspective about how and why to appreciate you. And if she can't do that, if you can clock it early, and if you can get away from that situation early, I almost kind of want to say, as I'm talking about it, maybe you need to find a dude with a mom who is like you, which is going to be rare. You deserve that. And you need to clock people who don't deserve your energy. Okay? May the force be with you.
Why I divorced my husband at the age of 27. One of the main things I had to come to terms with is doing more for anyone in your life will not result in you being a priority. Now, these are just overall truths that I've learned since I was married to my husband, and not so much so getting into the nitty-gritty details of why we decided to separate, because I don't want that to ever be attached to my name publicly, and I also just don't want to paint anyone in a bad light, because I also take accountability for a lot of the things that happen in the relationship, and the specifics should be kept private. Whenever you do make someone else a priority in your life thinking that it'll result in you getting more, you literally do the exact opposite, and instead of you getting more out of that relationship, you actually get less, because the more that they realize that you're able to reward their bare minimum actions, the more they're going to continue to be bare minimum. If I'm able to get the best out of doing the least, I'm going to continue to do the least, and that's something that I had to learn for sure. Now, this next one I've learned is going to shoot you in the foot every single time until you listen. And that is ignoring the red flags. Baby, let me tell y'all, God gave you an intuition for a reason. And if you decide to ignore that intuition, you're gonna pay for it every single time. It's basically like that analogy when the guy was in the ocean and he was like, God, please come save me. And he sent him 3 different boats and he passed up on each of the boats every single time. And then he was like, God, why didn't you save me? And God was like, I sent you 3 boats. That's the exact same thing. He's letting you know these are the red flags, and if you decide to ignore them, you're just gonna have to deal with those consequences. And when I tell you I ignored every single boat, baby, you would have thought I was a fish. When you think you can ignore it and it's gonna get better, I promise you it will only get worse. Now, the next thing I wanna talk about is being valued. A man who values and respects you will never pass up on an opportunity to celebrate you or to make you feel special or to make you feel like you are appreciated. And no matter how much you may beg him to do something, he's not gonna do it, baby, if he does not want to, because as the saying goes, if he wanted to, he would. And that is just the harsh reality that I had to realize in life, is if he wanted to, he would have done that already. And don't allow people to tell you that saying, you have to explain it and overly communicate it to a man, because sometimes men are slow. Men are not slow. Men are created to lead us. So how can they be slow and we be smarter than them? And I'm not trying to say that in every situation that you don't have to explain something to your partner to get him to understand. But I'm just saying, if it's repeated things that he's not doing, sis, he does not want to do those things. Trust the actions and not the words. And one of the main things that I give congratulations to is my growth. I literally refer to myself as the rose that grew from the concrete. I truly realized what I deserved out of a relationship, and you have to make sure that the person you decide to bring children into the world with is a person that you like, a person that you would want your kids to mirror. And even if you don't want kids, I feel like putting yourself or using that example as a scenario, like if I were to have a child, would I be okay if my child grew up to be exactly like this person that I'm with right now? Ask yourself that question, and that will literally tell you all that I feel like you need to know. All in all, I grew from my past relationship, and I only want to make the best decisions for myself in the future. And that's really why I am talking about this on this platform, just to be a girl's girl, make sure you don't make the same decisions without the right advice that I did. So follow along on this journey of becoming Crystal Nicole while I share with you guys tips like these and more about becoming the woman that your future self will thank.